Level two is more about structure, and you're going to start to see just different patterns in your prompts. So, one of the only thing that has to be there is some kind of task or some kind of instruction. And again, if it doesn't know something, it's going to assume. So if like what I opened with, like I just went in here and said hi. You could say that's not a task, it's not an instruction. It's not. So the assumption is you want me to respond with a similar greeting because I didn't specify anything, and that's what it did. It's like, okay, here's a similar greeting. Anything that you put in there, either you explicitly tell it what you want or it's going to assume. But there's always, this is the only piece that's actually mandatory. We already talked about context. I'll move on. Examples are huge, 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 huge. Yeah, depending on what you're doing, they're like number two or number three importance. Examples on both sides, examples of what you want and what you don't want. If you can put those, let's call them guardrails in place, your quality of output goes up exponentially because again, it makes a bunch of assumptions. And this can be in your initial prompt or in your follow-up prompt. So like if it gives you something, let me come back. So because I don't think I really covered it. A follow-up prompt is just if I do this initial prompt and it says something, I can do something else. So this anything that I do now here, like this is a follow-up prompt. It's just like I have output and I'm prompting it again, I'm following up. So what you can do is if you get some kind again this is a nonsense chat, don't do this, but like if this was like give me a report, let's see, uh, it doesn't matter. I just pick a haiku because it's a known length. But let's say that I wanted a haiku about trees and that one's terrible, and it's like okay, I I don't want to talk about roots, so I can tell it. If I get some kind of output, again, it can be a report, it can be an email, it can be whatever, and I don't like something, I can point it out and I'm not going to write out a full haiku, but I can give it an example like, hey, write a haiku like this. I'm coming back. But examples of what you want and what you don't want are hugely, hugely important to help it just kind of narrowly focus on what you want. Um, Persona is a huge one. Persona is you are whoever or act as whoever. So if you're doing a marketing campaign, you can say you are a marketing expert with theoretical knowledge and 20 years of practical experience, and then go. And again, it just kind of narrows it down. If you don't tell it it's a marketing expert, it'll probably guess, but sometimes it doesn't. And sometimes it pretends it's a project management expert and or other things. And telling it who it is, whether it's a generalization of like you are in this role or very specific, you're Albert Einstein, you're whoever, it will again, it'll frame it to, hey, okay, this is actually what this person wants, and it'll give you much better output. Output format is also huge. There are a ton of formats you can have. Like most of what's in here, this is just a paragraph. You can do bulleted lists, it can do numbered lists, it can do email, it can do different document formats. So it can do like a PDF, it can do a docx, it can do a spreadsheet, it can do, I could list 100, but just if there's some kind of specific output format that you want, it can do that. You just have to tell it. So a lot of times with marketing, with social media stuff, it's like you want something for whichever platform, and then like you want an image for I don't know, LinkedIn. There's a very specific image format that you need to go onto LinkedIn, whether it's a reel or whether it's whatever. If you don't tell it, hey, I want this image, but make sure that it's this by this, it's not going to do that. If you tell it, it can do that. So if you don't get something that you want, just think about, did I tell it what output format that I want? And if you didn't, go back. If it gives you a PNG and you want a JPEG, you just tell it and like, oh, okay, I didn't know that. And it'll just make a new one in the right format. Writing style is another big one. We've kind of touched on it where it's like, hey, I want this to be professional. I want this to be hilarious. I want this to be melancholy, like whatever it is. There's so many writing styles, but if you actually don't get what you want and you didn't tell it what style you wanted, consider going back and telling it the style. Audience, using the Albert Einstein example, the demo I usually do is I ask it to explain physics, and then it says something, and then explain physics for an audience of 5-year-olds, and it gives something that's very Dr. Seussy, and then explain physics for an audience of PhD physics students writing their dissertations. Those are three completely different audiences, and it gives you three completely different pieces of output. So again, just consider the audience if you don't get what you're thinking about. And then the tone. Tone is just kind of the emotion behind whatever it is. So it's just like, to be clear, you don't have to use all of these every time. But again, level two is just more, it's more structure. So it's just like if I only need a really simple haiku about a tree, I don't have to care about, oh, what output format do I want that haiku in? It doesn't matter. If I'm doing a really complex task, more of these might matter. So these are really just levers that you can choose to pull or not, and then just get better output.